everybody? You guys from my IG at Cash Nasty. Man, I'm happy. You guys know these are my favorite type of videos, man. We got the 7 most chilling things ever found by deep sea divers. You guys know, bro, we only know about 5% of the oceans. I'm going to count up right now and quote me from this. I don't care when my kids have kids, ancestors, whatever it is. Whenever we find out, we're getting closer and closer. Aliens, extraterrestrial beings live within our oceans. Just keep it a trip with y'all. I don't know if I'm not the first to say it, but I said it.
Every day, people strap on about 50 pounds of deep sea diving gear just to take a little trip down underwater. But most of the time, things are fine. Every now and again, however, something super creepy is spotted, like one of the ugliest sharks you'll ever see. Those are just a couple of examples of what we have in store today, where we present to you the 7 most chilling things ever found by deep sea divers.
Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to the Supreme.
Like, guys, we could be on a boat, bro. Let's just say one of them whales just be bored one day, or he's you know, indulging himself in them big old, like, you know, pile of fish, you know, the sardines and stuff when they get them together. What if your boat accidentally in it? Like, this right here's your boat. This is the whale mouth. He ain't gonna feel you coming down there and make the whole boat. Hell nah, man.
And click the notification bell for more lit content. Let's get rolling. Number 7.
Giant squid. Before we begin, I truly believe that it takes a special kind of person to go down into the deepest depths of our oceans just for the purposes of exploration. We've lamented this several times on our show in the past, but according to researchers, only about 5% of all underwater across the world has been explored.
Only 5% been explored. Only 5%! 5%, bro! That's about the same percentage of a black dude making out the hood. It's 5%, man. We don't know nothing, man. But we out there in space shuttle and stuff. We want to put SpaceX on the moon and shit, man. Like, we don't even know what we got down here, man. Come on, bro.
That means that there are tons of things down there that we've never seen and will likely never see. So, with that being said, today, we'll start here with one of the most mysterious underwater sea creatures ever caught on tape during a deep sea dive, the giant squid. In the video that found its way online back in 2013, this humongous squid was caught on camera in its natural habitat, and it's one of the most terrifying videos ever taken underwater. The footage was captured off the coast of Japan, and this big fella comes in massively,
like a Pokemon character,
outsizing the more common and much more normal sized squids that typically come in at around 8 inches long. This fella though is much larger, measuring about 32 feet from crown to end of its tentacle. Luckily, there's no evidence of a squid like this one, or any other cephalopod for that matter, actually consuming a human being, but scientists do admit that it is possible for a battle with one of these animals to end up in death. And not for the squid. In other news, there was a picture that went around the web for a while claiming to depict the arrival of a much more massive squid that apparently had washed ashore in California. And according to the original post, this thing was about 160 feet long. Now, of course, that size is ridiculous, and there's no proof that a squid this large has ever lived, let alone washed up on the West Coast. Now imagine that you're out on a cruise one day and you saw a squid that was 160 feet long swimming along the side of the boat. Has anyone out there ever heard of the Kraken? As we can
the Kraken, be like, man, what's Kraken? Boy, man.
Continue to navigate through today's list of unfortunate things that have been recovered from deep underwater by deep sea divers, we've got this image that certainly suggests that something crazy was going on. As it appears, there's a man being pulled out of a sunken ship, and it seems as if the man here is mummified. Just how long was this vessel underwater before the diver came down and found it? And is there any chance that the guy being rescued is still alive? Will let
Let me wind that.
And is there any chance that the guy being rescued is still alive?
In which life? I hope you talk about this life, the exact same one me and you is living in this reality. Probably in a different life. But he's not living in this life, fam. That body got no soul in it right now, fam. That thing is out of there. It's out the body, bro. We ain't gotta rub it in, bro.
We'll let you be the judge of that as we hop right back into the rest of today's countdown.
Number 6.
Big bomb. Earlier this year, over in Germany, a not so uncommon object was found underwater by a group of firefighters doing some routine training. The object was in fact a bomb that never exploded, obviously, and was dropped by a U.S. warplane all the way back sometime during World War II. The police department was notified and a bomb squad was sent in, although it was determined that there was no way to safely relocate the failed bomb without risk of it exploding. So they detonated it underwater, and the resulting explosion and violent disruption of water surprised even the experts, as nobody expected the blast to be that big. In fact, 20 feet below the surface of the main river in Frankfurt, where the bomb went off, there was nothing left of it at all, and there was a crater as a result from the blast that measured 30 feet wide and 5 feet deep. Locals who lived miles away from the detonation could feel the energy of it, almost like a small earthquake. In another scary note,
Oh, that bomb right there was gonna shut down the whole city. Man, who made that bomb in the basement, bro?
each year nearly 2,000 tons of live bombs are found buried in German soil, proof that about 15% of all live munitions dropped by the warplanes never exploded.
Number 5.
Baltic Sea UFO. Back during the summer of 2011, a very strange story surfaced that told of a group of marine explorers who were using sonar to navigate through the waters. Revealed in the sonar images was something quite remarkable. An object near the bottom of the Baltic Sea seemed to be home to an object that looked eerily similar to the Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars movies. The disc-shaped object was called many different things once the images went viral online, with people suggesting everything from an alien to a UFO to evidence of some kind of former race of people who are no longer here on Earth. Years later, after a bit of research, Swedish divers returned to the site to gather a bit more evidence. The Baltic Sea object was still sitting there and almost perfectly circled, shaped like a flying saucer, but alas, it wasn't a spaceship, and just a distinctly formed rock formation. So, as it turns out, thousands of people were up in arms for no reason at all. Or were they?
I don't believe that. Perfect circle. Come on, cuz. Come on, man.
Number 4.
Terrifying goblin shark. One of the more disturbing underwater creatures found anywhere in the world is a shark. But it may not be the one that you're thinking about. Whenever people think of a scary shark in the ocean, the most popular ones are usually things like the great white or maybe the super aggressive tiger shark. But there's one in particular that gives almost everyone who sees it the chills. And of course, we're talking about...
That thing here ugly, man. It's like the thing, like, this thing mouth got a mouth for itself, bro. You know what I mean? It's like a double bite. Like, imagine me doing this right here. And my tongue got another fucking teeth going out of it.
The terrifying goblin shark. Check it out. It's equipped with a jaw that can thrust itself out about 3 inches anytime it needs to catch its prey. And I mean, just how ugly is this thing? It almost doesn't look real, like it's something out of a science fiction pic. Now, it's important to know that there aren't technically any reported goblin shark attacks against human beings, but that doesn't make them any less horrifying to look at. And in fact, nobody was able to look at the goblin shark for quite some time, as they were at one point considered to be extinct. And it's for that reason these guys are sometimes referred to as living fossils. These deep sea dwellers aren't meant for captivity, and in each instance recorded where someone tried to keep them in an aquarium, the animal passed away after just a few weeks. And while we don't know a whole lot about this creature that typically dwells outside of the human reach, whenever they do turn up, it's always sort of a big deal. And if you ever have a chance to see one of these things eat, well, prepare yourself. It's one of the grossest things you'll ever see.
Number 3.
Apollo moon rocket engine. Next up today, we've got another strange object, or rather a pair of insanely large objects that were pulled up out of the Atlantic Ocean about 5 years ago. Every single time a rocket ship is blasted into space, there are parts of it that fall off and come back down to Earth, usually falling into an ocean. The engines that power the boosters during the first stage collapse away from the rest of the ship, and people assumed that they would just sink to the bottom of the ocean, lost to the rest of the world forever. Well, in 2012, a pair of engines were found, and a privately funded project by none other than Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos paid to recover the massive machines from underneath the water. Following several years of renovation, the engine pieces are finally publicly displayed at the Museum of Flight in Seattle. Now, is it just me that it doesn't seem as if we've given much thought to how something like this could affect the wildlife in the area of which these engines were dropped off?
Sad, we don't give a damn. You know, we out here talking about, like, we out here labeling each other as narcissists. It look like we all narcissists. We don't give a damn. All we care about is us humans. We take away from the animals, living habitats, bro. They trees, their environment. Imagine somebody come over there and just taking out the roof off your crib right now, bro. What you paying bills for every single day? You know what I mean? We don't care.
Off as if something weighing hundreds of thousands of pounds doesn't need to be accounted for? Am I the only one who just thinks that's crazy?
Number 2.
The Corfu creature. Today's special shout out goes to none other than Wendy Stolte, who did us the premium favor of watching one of our latest videos. And once she was done, she left an amazing comment. And because of that, she's earned special recognition from everyone here at the Supreme. So thanks.
Hey fam, you can't even read that, dog. I mean, shout out to her for some. About to die. Shout out to her. Shit. Shout out to her. Bro, why I got hiccups and coughing? Let me shut up.
Thanks for watching, and thanks for leaving us with that beautiful message. As we move things right along, and I realize that there are plenty of people every day who visit places just like the ones we're talking about on today's episode for the purposes of vacation and relaxing, imagine this. You're walking along the edge of the water as the sun is going down, holding your wife or your husband's hand, when you notice something pretty disgusting. This thing, some dead, decaying sea monster that washed onto the shore of the Corfu beach. And it goes without saying that, yet again, we've got a pretty disgusting animal to look at, don't we? Oddly enough, another one that looks like it could be something straight out of the dinosaur era. If this one was one of those ancient creatures, and believe me, I know that'd be a pretty big if, but if it were, which one do you think it would be? Or does it look more like it could be some ancient mythical marine animal? When it comes to creatures that are unidentified, unfortunately, sometimes you end up with more questions than answers. Still, this is one ugly son of a gun.
Do you want to get a shout out in one of our daily videos? Well, don't forget to drop a comment down below with the hashtag Supreme Family. Tomorrow could be your day. Now, let's get back to the topic. Number 1.
The sea monster at Okanagan Lake. Up next, and to close out today's show, we've got yet another mysterious sea serpent that's reportedly been around for centuries. This picture here has stumped experts, animal researchers, and even the locals, as this super
like an anaconda, bro. If anything, bro, that thing be big, bro.
long snake is apparently, quote, as long as a school bus. Unofficially named the Ogopongo, this supposed first sighting of the ever-evasive animal occurred all the way back in 1872, which, for all of our
Boy, you talking about the Loch Ness monster, bro?
historians in the crowd is about 7 years earlier than the first reported sighting of the legendary Loch Ness monster.
We only
The
know
indigenous
5% of
people
oceans,
Canada
bro.
called this
Like, that should
creature
let you know right there.
that
We only
they
know
feared
5% of oceans.
simply Lake Demon, and in some respects even regard itself as Canada's very own version of the Loch Ness. According to what we can see in its appearance and the descriptions left by previous generations in the area over the years, that name fits perfectly. And that's...
Man, I need to get out of here. I hope you guys do a video, man. Man, I need to see Eagles, man. What the hell going on?